My brothers and sisters in Christ, today's gospel passage is one that is absolutely full of Eucharistic imagery, images that will not begin to make perfect sense to the disciples until the Last Supper, and ultimately until after the Passion of the Lord, His resurrection, and the institution of the Eucharist, the Eucharistic banquet for all ages that we are blessed to participate in. These images may not be obvious to us at first when we read it. The first instruction from Jesus to his disciples is this image of the servant waiting for the return of their master. He says to wait with loins girt and lamps alit. And these words may not mean much to us, but they are words that pertain to the commands regarding the Passover. To gird one's loins, what means, we hear this and sometimes we don't know what that means, but literally means if you have ankle-length garments or not so much a dress, but any kind of clothing that hangs long, to pull it up, tuck it into your belt, in a sense to be ready for flight, ready for rapid movement. And so to have loins girt and lamps alit, the Passover, the night of the Passover, to be ready to move. And so, of course, this prepares for the Last Supper. And even more striking is when we hear that when the servants wait and are ready, and at the night watch the master will come, and in a great reversal, the master will turn and wait on his servants. This calls to mind for us the washing of the feet at the Last Supper. And then ultimately, as Jesus says, that he comes as one who serves, and he gives himself to his disciples. All of this prefigures the Eucharistic feast, the Master returning from the wedding banquet, that image from the book of Revelation, the wedding feast of the Lamb, of which we get to take part. And we're told that on our part, we need to be ready. We need to be waiting. We need to be prepared when the Master comes. And so in this sense, there's an eschatological dimension, meaning that there's a pointing to the end times. But there's also the application in the here and now. We're called in every moment to be ready, to be waiting on the Lord. And this comes about in a couple different ways. In the sense of the church as a whole, she does that by her unceasing prayer. This is the beauty of not only the celebration of the Mass, if we think about it, the Mass is being celebrated somewhere in the world at all times, but also in the divine office, the hours that the church prays, the clergy pray, the laity, the religious, that they pray at these various hours to sanctify them, and the church keeping watch for the coming of the Lord. But even more so as individuals are watching, are waiting, our readiness for Mass. Every time when we get to take part in the wedding feast of the Lamb in this sense, are we prepared? Are we prayerfully disposed? Is our soul disposed? If we're in a state of sin, have we gone to the sacrament of reconciliation first so as not to profane the Blessed Sacrament by its reception? But most of all, do we approach it with an eager heart? This image of the servants awaiting eagerly, just on the edge of their seats, waiting for the Master to come. Is this the disposition we have for the coming of the Lord to us in the Eucharistic feast? And if not, why not? We can think of the image, for example, of a child eagerly awaiting on Christmas morning, not even willing to let their parents sleep any longer. The eagerness is so palpable. Even as an adult, I can think of the times when something big has been coming up the next day. In a sense, I keep waking up in the middle of the night. Is it time yet? Is it time to be up? Is it time to move? These moments where we know great anticipation, or we're eagerly awaiting a guest at our house and we're kind of peeking out the window. Are they here yet? We know what it is to anticipate, to be ready, to be ready to receive someone or something with great anticipation. Why don't we always show the same for the greatest gift of all, the coming of our Master, as he comes to us in the wedding feast of the Lamb, and in turn waits on us and gives us the most perfect, beautiful gift of himself? My brothers and sisters, may we be found waiting, prepared when our Master comes. May God bless you all.